don't come late. The morning facts, we send the rose on how the country running, we break it down. A chance undone in countdown two, electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education, youth them future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability, she hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight, so you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul, information is power, take control. Grab your bush tea, clear your head, start your day, properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Daily talk show. Daily talk show. Covering the issues. It drops an up higher. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts. We sing the rose and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts. We sing the rose and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea, Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen, how the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news, she asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leaders' seat, she connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts, we send the rose on how the country running, we break it down. A chance undone in countdown two, electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education, youth them future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability, she hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight, so you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul, information is power, take control.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Morning Facts. My energy is a little depleted today, and that's fine. Like we have those days. We have those days, right? All of us have those days. I'm gonna tell you. I think most of us have children, and I think most everybody knows that I have two sons and one daughter. And these days I think maybe my daughter is maybe a duplicate of me. I don't know. And she's gonna kill me for talking about her this morning. But I don't know. I don't know. I think a lot of us, I want to call us modern day parents, the way we handle our children, because we went through, we were brought up differently. And I'm having this conversation right out the gate because I just want to get it out my way. Maybe I'll feel better to carry on with the rest of my day, right? But let's have this conversation. Like those of you that have daughters, what is your experience like having teenage daughters? Because personally, I feel like I'm like this close to my wits end, to just tolerating anything at all. So I just don't know. I just don't know. She applies a lot of pressure to me. Um, I try to exercise a lot of patience, but I don't know. I don't know where to meet her. And I don't know, maybe the young people, they're going through a lot of different things, and we might say, oh, what can they, because like my parents thought children shouldn't have any issues at all. And I know that I'm not unique in that. That's like how the old fashioned parents were. They'd be like, what problems can you have? Every single thing is taken care of for you. You don't have any worries in the world. But truly, you probably had your own pressures, whether it be other girlfriends and their behaviors, you know, little pressures at school amongst classmates and, other students. I don't know, or siblings, or, I went through a divorce, so that might be bothering her too. I just don't know. But I don't know how far to allow, certain behaviors to go. Maybe I'm feeling guilty. I don't know. I don't know. But I could tell you, I'm going to share this link. But I could tell you, she's really working me up. She's really working me up. And I'm not sure what to do about it. So it has me a little stressed this morning. You might hear it in my voice. Because, quite often children can make you end up in jail. Anyway, I'm sharing this link for today. Welcome to the show for today. It's the Morning Facts. I'm glad to be back. We returned yesterday. Today's day 2. Just a reminder that we're not on Fridays, so I won't be here tomorrow. And so let's try to make today. Good morning, everybody. Yes, having a teenage daughter is very stressful. It really puts you in a place where you just gotta breathe. You just gotta breathe. But we're gonna keep it moving. We're going to take a short break, 60 seconds. I'm going to get everything together. I'm going to share up the link further, and we're going to come back and dive into the conversation today. It's really going to be free flow because I left my notebook at home. And all my frustration, I left my notebook at home. So it's going to be free flow. So it might go better. I hope I don't get myself in trouble today, because when it's free flow, I tend to get myself in trouble. But let's do it. I'm going to take a 60-second break, and we're going to be right back. Alrighty? Thank you for tuning in today. Share the link. All right.
Good morning. Rise and shine, nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asked the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leader's seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. A chance undone in pound and two. Electrifying facts from me and you. Economy, health, education. Youth them future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability. She hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight. So you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul. Information is power. shore. Grab your bush tea, clear your head, start your day properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Daily talk show. Daily talk show. Covering the issues. It drops an empire. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts. We Cindy Rose and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong minds, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts. We Cindy Rose and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong minds, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen.
Welcome back. Alrighty. Somebody said, let's see. Sometimes when I talk about my daughter, people say to me, or when they meet my daughter, they say that she's a replica of me, and apple don't fall far from the tree, or whatever that saying is, right? And like a lot of people know me in this adult stage and being very vocal on issues, that bother me or the territory, my willingness to stand up for people, but I was very, 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 very quiet when I was young. And I think anybody that knows me, that grew up with me, will tell you that. So somebody here is saying, Cindy, remember you as a teenager to use your experience to guide her appropriately, listen, hear her, and give positive feedback. It will help. And to be honest, like I do that a lot with her. I don't know if it's working though. I kind of feel, and even when we were teenagers and growing up, your parents tell you a lot of things, but sometimes maybe you want to experience things for yourself. You feel like you're doing things the right way. And again, maybe she has a lot of things going on in her head that she's trying to resolve. I don't know. I just know that at some point, although all of those things are going on, you still have to be a parent and parent. So I don't know. I think I'm probably at a point where I have to put a solid foot down and just really don't care where that leads. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I've given like a lot of time to being, or what they say, soft parenting. I think I've given enough of that. So, and I think my decisions on how I'm going to handle her moving forward would be in her best interest. So I'll probably leave it at that. Alrighty, so let's dig into it. Let's dig into what's going on. I want to share this update that I saw came in from BVI Electricity Corporation on stealing electricity. I don't know if you've seen that. I've sent it to my camera guy. Maybe he'll be able to get it up while I'm, reading the notice from them. But I want to talk about, and I think stealing electricity in the BVI has been a thing that's been going on for a lot of years. But I'm going to read what they said here in their statement. Electricity theft is everyone's problem. Electricity theft is not a victimless act as it affects every paying customer. When power is stolen, honest residents end up covering the cost. It also creates serious safety risks and places added strain on our electricity system. Under Section 214 of the Virgin Islands Criminal Code, the illegal use or diversion of electricity is a criminal offense that carries penalty of up to 2 years imprisonment, a fine of up to $2,000 or both. If you see something, say something. report any suspected instances of electricity theft to the BVI Electricity Corporation by calling 284-541-4114. Every matter is handled in the strictest confidence. All right, so I think it was last week that I heard about, and please don't quote me, this was brought to me. I heard that people inside the BVI Electricity Corporation was selling electricity on the side. I heard that people were fired. Don't quote me, but I understand that to have been happening. So now that I see this notice come out today, I kind of believe it's a bit true that something transpired. But people have been stealing electricity for a while, but I understand that people inside of BVI Electricity was actually enabling some of this, and some people were fired. They'll have to let me know if that's any truth to that or not, or they may not say anything, which is fine. But understand that too have been the case. I heard that came out last week, and now I'm seeing this come out this week, and maybe there's some truth to that. So this morning, in international news, I want to talk about this a little bit. We woke up to, I'm going to say former Prince Andrew, because all of his titles were taken away by the king. So we woke up to the news that he was actually arrested this morning on suspicion of misconduct in public office. And this has to do with the Jeffrey Epstein debacle that has been going on for some years now. And as we know, between January and February, now all of the files and anything in relation to Jeffrey Epstein, the case, everything has been released to the public. Congress has been sitting for a few weeks now. We're watching the Attorney General. She's being grilled. And it is amazing and very interesting to watch her. I mean, even here in the BVI, right? You watch and you just can't put it together how people's integrity, or maybe they never had any, it goes out the window when it comes to people that they like or support, or they get some money. Their integrity goes out the door, and people just can't do any wrong, or they go to the extremes to hide what the people that they like or doing or supporting is doing. And I've watched her as she's been grilled, the Attorney General for the US, and all she does is push back and ask silly questions, and like, why didn't you ask this person, and why are you passing the buck? It just reminds me of these people here. A new president is in, you're a new Attorney General, they're asking you questions. Why are you reverting back to what the other Attorney General did, or why they didn't ask him certain questions? They're asking you. You're now the Attorney General. More and more files and paperwork is being released from your office, so now you have to answer the questions that are coming forth from Congress. But something that she said last week that really stood out to me when they were questioning her, she made a statement, right? And this is the Attorney General for the US. She made a statement and she said that, and it was so interesting, and it brought me back here to the BVI again, right? She said, if we go after everybody in the Epstein files, right? And I would assume she means all the wrongdoers, because let's be clear, every name that comes out of the Epstein files doesn't mean that they've done something, okay? Some of the names that have come out, Epstein has been speaking to other people about these people. So their names ended up in there because he had conversations about some persons, calling them names and all sorts of things. So their names ended up in some of the releases in terms of phone conversations, text messages, etc. Not that those persons actually did something wrong. But in terms of people who are being looked at, or the information is coming out that they've actually done things, this Attorney General, she said, if we go after everybody that has done anything or that's in the Epstein files, it will bring the whole system down. I found that so interesting and intriguing that she actually said that. And she's right. And you know what? It's the same in the BVI. I've had a couple of people that said to me, Cindy, you can't go after everybody. You just can't. You can, and they were saying that to me in terms of, you'll be really alienated if you have to leave some things. But it means that a system, and when we talk about the system, this is what we mean. It's so corrupt, it's so far gone that she could say something like that. Like, if you go after everybody, you bring down a whole system. Well, maybe it needs to come down. Maybe it needs to come down because everybody's suffering under the things that these people have done. And, I was speaking to a few people when I shared my article this morning from Guavaberry Media that this, guy Andrew was arrested. For weeks now, I'm looking at all the information coming out of this Epstein release and trial and conversation. And you're looking at everybody involved. And you're really wondering, like, money and power is really that triggering. Like, how did he get access to all of these people? How was he able to do all of these things? How did these people find this to be okay? Even our people right there in neighboring St. Thomas, in their what do you call it over there? Their parliament, whatever, in their government. Over here, those of you who enabled that and knew, I have my own stories coming because I'm doing my own research. And while the rest of the media is happy to stay away from anyone close to the BVI waters, I am not. So I'm doing my own research and I'm going to release my own stories on people within our waters to see how far anything would have gone over here and who would have known. But this is crazy. Like, we so love money that we would sell our souls because that's what it is. That's what it is. I don't get it. It's so sad to look at all that has happened, all that's being released, all these big names, to the point where the Attorney General is saying that if we go after everybody, it'll bring down the system. It's insane. So he was arrested this morning, and I feel like his mother protected him so much, but his brother isn't willing to protect him, and his nephew is even worse. They just don't want him anywhere close to the throne. So he was arrested this morning, and it's actually his birthday. I wonder if they knew that it was his birthday. I'm sure they did. But I guess when the police are gonna roll on you, they're gonna roll on you. They don't care, and they go for most impact, I guess. So Prince Andrew was arrested this morning, and they're looking at him for suspicion of giving Epstein information while he was an envoy for the UK, while Prince Andrew was an envoy for the UK. So it's taken an interesting turn. I mean, some of us expect some of these things to happen. It doesn't mean that they're going to happen. So when it actually happens, you're like, okay, they actually found the balls to actually arrest him. But I guess it became easier because, the king has turned his back on him and he's asked him to leave and step down and taken away all his titles. So now he's just a common man. So he's touchable. The police can go after him and nothing can happen. Let me take some of the comments. I see some comments coming in there. Yeah, but it was quite interesting to wake up to that. I thought, oh, wow, interesting. So some comments. Some okay. Somebody's saying there's some documents she said she will not release, but last week she said that she had released everything. So I don't know. Um, Epstein was a financial broker, money manager, and asset advisor. So he had a lot of clients, mostly rich and powerful persons. Good morning, Lejeune. Welcome. Well, Epstein was a transactional kind of guy. Everything was a transaction. Yeah, somebody else said there is something about him they are leaving out. He had too much access and control. He wasn't just an advisor. No, I definitely don't believe, and just like this person here said that he was transactional. I think he knew what he had, he knew his powers, and he knew their weaknesses, and he built whatever he needed to build to protect himself. And I'm telling you, he had the world. He had the world, the entire world leaders, leadership for years in his grip. It didn't matter who came in, he had them. I think one guy resigned last week. I think it was an Arab guy. When I look for it, he resigned last week because of the whole fiasco. Like a lot has been going on, and I find it absolutely amazing that he was able to wield this power. I'm even thinking, about that guy that bought one of our islands that was going for $1 million and however millions, and he was able to get it for 100,000. I mean, where did he get his money? He said he was broke. He's in the files over and under. I mean, I find it all intriguing. And what will our government do? Who will be arrested? Stacey Plaskett, she's running for governor. I think they should not elect her. I think anybody connected to this in major ways should come down. Break the system, whatever it is, just break the system. Because they are to know that something like this should never happen again. And, people talk about social media and so forth, but I believe that if social media didn't come around and turn into what it is, a lot of these things would still be very much hidden because you'd be able to control the narrative with especially the mainstream media and all of these other side medias. If it wasn't for the internet and social media, we wouldn't be able to access a lot of this information and a lot of these leaks. If social media was not around, a lot of this would still be very much controlled. The narrative would be very much controlled by the mainstream media, no matter which side it came down on, because this thing is affecting both sides, Democrats, Republicans, leaders around the world. So there is the good and the bad for social media, but let me tell you, that is what is bringing a lot of things to fruition, a lot of things that we get up in arms about. A lot of these things have been happening for decades. It's just that there was no out, no way for it to come out to the public the way it's coming out now. Like everybody has access to this information. It's no longer controlled. It can no longer be hidden. It could no longer be buried because the bloggers, the little sites, everybody has access and everybody's pushing out everything. And you can have 5,000 followers on Facebook and something you put out could get millions of views. So it's not even about who's following you and how many followers you have. It's about whether your content is making traction or not. And so I applaud social media for that. I'm sure those people that have invented it, they're like, boy, I don't know. I created a demon, but thank you. Because this information has other ways to come out to the public space, and that is what has needed to happen for a long time. So Prince Andrew was arrested. They're holding him. They're searching where he has lived and where he is living now. And, a statement from the Thames Valley Assistant Chief because the arrest happened there in that region. I'm having a headache. Following a thorough assessment, they said, we have now opened an investigation into this allegation of misconduct in public office. It is important that we protect the integrity and objectivity of our investigation as we work with our partners to investigate this alleged offense. We understand the significant public interest in this case, and we will provide updates at the appropriate time. So I guess based on whatever they find, they'll continue to send out information. But it was last week, I think it is Congressman Lou, I think is his name. He was grilling the Attorney General specifically about Prince Andrew last week. And there were some photos. Of course, they redact the victim's face. But he was there in a room, and Epstein, his feet were up on a table, and Prince Andrew was over this young woman who seemed to be maybe unconscious or something. And he was grilling the Attorney General, asking why they hadn't put out an arrest warrant for Prince Andrew in the US, why they hadn't done so. Okay, and she seemed to have closed a lot of the cases on a lot of the persons, and she's going to have to be forced to reopen them. But just last week, that congressman was drilling the Attorney General on Prince Andrew and some information that had come forth in some photos. So anyway, for the UK, they are more looking at him sharing information with Epstein while he was an envoy for the UK. So that's where they are looking at with him. Anything that didn't happen on the UK soil, I guess they can't do anything about. So that's why the congressman would have, asked why they hadn't initiated arrest warrants for people like Prince Andrew. Cindy, where money is involved, anything could happen. A lot of people who dealt with him didn't know his dark side. Oh my God, I hate when you come with this type of nonsense. Only those who were very close to him knew what he did and was part of it. Those are the ones who the AG is hiding, including her boss. I don't know. I know that this runs vast and deep, and and it's sad. Yes. Okay, somebody sent me the information on the Sultan Ahmad bin Sulayem. Is that how you pronounce it? He was arrested last week. A CEO of a Dubai-based logistics company. Yes, he resigned last week. Yeah, all of this is interesting. And then, okay, yeah, somebody said I'm making them nervous with all the talk of my teenage daughter. I'm just 15 months from having my own. Well, they're not gonna all be the same, but not to go back to that, but I mean my sons think that I'm not like firm enough with my daughter and that I've spoiled her. And maybe that is the case. Maybe that is the case. I've said to you guys that I begged God for a daughter and he gave me one. So sometimes you ask for something, you get it, you gotta deal with it. So yeah, you have to deal with it. Anywho, our teenage daughters won't be the same, but they could be a lot of work. Yeah. All right. So yes, so he was arrested. That's a bit of our international news. And then I want to leave that. I'm going to continue to monitor it. We're going to see who else is arrested. We're going to see if Andrew, I feel horrible calling him Andrew. We've called him Prince Andrew for so long. But we're going to see, if charges are laid. I'm pretty sure it will happen. And there'll probably be, I don't know. We'll see. It's quite interesting how things are unfolding. Yesterday, I'm gonna go to a little bit of regional news. Let me just do this one real quick. And this is just across to St. Thomas. Let me do this one really quickly. So, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to, let me pull it up. So we know that Martinez and Jennifer O'Neill, they went through their trial for the corruption bribery, federal bribery trial over in St. Thomas. And, the case came to an end, and Martinez was supposed to surrender himself on the 17th of February to await his sentencing. His team threw a last minute curveball to say that, they wanted an extension for him turning himself in. And he was asking to turn himself in June, when his sentencing is supposed to be. And so his legal team turned in information saying that he was having some health issues that he wanted to deal with, and that he had appointments to check out. So they turned in that last minute request, and the judge has denied it. The judge denied it, and he has until Friday. When is the 8th, 19th? Friday, I think tomorrow. He has until Friday to turn himself in to let me see where he has to go. Guayanabo in Puerto Rico. So he's going to be in Puerto Rico, and the judge had given the prosecution and his side until, I think, yesterday to turn in, or Monday or Tuesday to turn in arguments why he should allow him to wait. And his side didn't actually turn in any arguments. Only the prosecution didn't. So the judge ruled against it. So he has to turn himself in by Friday to start serving. Well, he's going to be in jail, and then his actual sentencing will be given by the judge in June, where he'll serve it, exactly how much time and so forth that he'll get. So he lost that request, and the judge has asked him to make sure that he is in the hands of the authorities in Puerto Rico by Friday. All right. So that's another bit of news, which is just regional right there by us. That has happened with him yesterday. All right, I'm gonna dive back into this conversation that I was having, and I haven't gotten to the news for today yet. Let me have some tea. I'm having a headache. Maybe this might help me. So for BBI Bush teas, today I'm having spice in the bay. What is in this one? It's made from bay leaf and cinnamon. And it's good for lowering blood pressure and cholesterol. I don't think I have any of those things, but I'm gonna see what it can do for my headache. Oh my God. And Supermercados Bravo. I talked about their stuff yesterday. I sampled quite a bit of their stuff yesterday. And the stuff that I opened, I had some of it actually for lunch, like the crackers and oh my goodness, let me have some of this tea. Yeah, their stuff is, I'm gonna sample a little bit more of their stuff today, but it's good, it's delicious, it's fresh. They have some cookies here. I'm gonna try that. This one I was talking about, that's kind of like biscotti. I'm gonna try it. I tried the wafers, and these are really good. I'm gonna have some with my tea. All right. So again, go into Rotown Wholesale, Right Way Food Market, and try the supermercados, Bravo brands that they brought in that are much more affordable, and I'm gonna call them mainstream than the mainstream brands that we've been addicted to for years. All right. I'm gonna try to make it through this, but I don't feel well. So yesterday I talked about the National Democratic Party. I talked about a bit about elections. I talked about the National Democratic Party specifically, and I spoke about, whether Honorable Penn was, could or was ready for leadership of the National Democratic Party. Of course, I had a lot of calls, a lot of conversation erupted out of that. And of course, it was my position, right? On what I think and what I think could happen. And it's easy to get offended around here. I don't know why. I don't know when we became so thin skinned that people can't say how they feel about something and people not get upset or irritated or anything. I want people to tell me how they feel about me. That's just how I am. Like, if you think I'm doing something wrong, I could take it. Just tell me. I don't need to be angry. Maybe it's something that I could adjust, something that I could do better. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know, but it was the conversation was some for it, some against it, some, why you're talking about Marlon, etc., etc. I don't know, but I don't think anything I said yesterday was new to the public. I think a lot of people hold the position that I hold. It's in a lot of conversations. It's on a lot of what I call blocks. And when I say blocks, you know what I mean, where people sit, they have conversations. It's in the coffee shops, it's in the rum shops, it's in the, it's people are just having the conversation of leadership, of where the BVI is going, about the parties, what's happening, etc., etc. So nothing. I just gave my view on what I think could happen and where stuff is going when you listen and you talk to people. And I'm gonna say again that it we just have to be real with the fact that the NDP is we have the VIP and the NDP, and they are our oldest parties, right? They are our oldest parties, and I'm gonna call them the NDP flock. The NDP flock. They are there. They have their core supporters, and I'm gonna call them their flock. And they have more than their core supporters. There are other people that actually still believe in them, and their flock is scattered, longing for leadership to bring this establishment that they believe in back together. And this is where I chime in and I say that I don't think that Honorable Penn is the one, because the flock has been scattered for 7 years now, and he's been unable to bring them together, unable to call a meeting of everyone, unable to give any real direction. You see him, and you see the entire NDP as it is right now. We know those persons who who are deeply involved, who we think are still involved, who are members of the Congress and party, but they're all out here scattered. And again, some of it I don't understand why, because most of them have been the money and the funding and the founding members of this party, and they've sat back and watched one person control the show, unable to say anything. What did someone call it yesterday? Self-inflicted paralysis. Run the entire show and seem unable to control it and to control him in any way. Now, Malon is really one person, and Malon really and truly and honestly only commands his district. And when I say commands his district, he's voted in as a district rep. Malon can't run at large because he would not be elected. That's not him alone, a few of them. He's never run at large, but he cannot run at large. He cannot run at large, and he won't win at large. Like, we know that. So he commands a single district. And yes, it might feel like, okay, if we come in and we rough Malon up, we might lose his district. I mean, it's just one district. It's just one district. The votes in 2023 show that the NDP still commands the leading vote in this territory, the popular vote, the vote that would still run the House of Assembly after all is said and done. That was proven. So somebody, and I'm not trying to stir up any trouble with anybody, right? But it's amazing to me that everybody can sit and watch this party go to hell because they're afraid to pull in one person. I don't know how it works. I'm pretty sure they can call a convention around him and vote, because he's not been appointed the leader of the party. So I don't really understand why everybody's dancing around him, why everything is on a hold because of him. You have an interim president. Isn't it the interim president's job to... I wonder if the interim president will take my call. I wonder if the interim president will take my call. I don't even know if he's on island. I would love to know how it actually works. Let's see if the interim president will take a call. I want to make sure that let me see. So I believe he made his birthday yesterday. That went straight to voicemail, which means he might be traveling. And let me see if he's available by WhatsApp. Because I don't know. And I don't know if there's somebody else that I can call to ask how it works. Let me see. Good morning, Bishop. How are you? For transparency, you're not on speaker, but I do want to put you on speaker. I'm live on the Morning Facts, and I'll tell you what I want to know. I'm trying to figure out how it works in terms of you're the interim president for NDP, right? Are you still? Okay. All right. So what I want to know, because there's some things happening, and so I want to understand, like, would a convention be called? How is a convention called? Does it have to be called by the leader, or does the president call it? Like, can you give us any update in terms of what's going on with the NDP? I want to know if you're able to speak to it on speaker where the public can hear you. Is that okay? I'm not throwing any curveballs or anything. I just want to understand some stuff, okay? All right, no problem. Thanks. All right, so, oops, sorry. So I was able to get Bishop John Klein, who's the interim president for the National Democratic Party, online, and he's going to talk to us for a little bit. Let me just say happy birthday, Pastor Klein. I missed that yesterday. It was my nephew's birthday as well. So when I went on Facebook, I saw that. So happy birthday to you yesterday. I hope you had a great day. I see you might be traveling.
It was a wonderful day, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so yesterday, and I'm following up with the conversation today because after I spoke about it yesterday, and I'll tell you what the conversation was. It did speak to whether Honorable Penn was ready for leadership of the National Democratic Party, and it came out of a conversation that he had with the Talking Points show on Monday, I think it was. Either Monday or Tuesday. So he said that he was ready, the NDP was ready, and he was ready to lead them forward. There has been forever a conversation that where people feel that he's not the right leader and that he can't take the party forward, et cetera, and the fact that for the past 7 years, you guys have not had a convention to whether appoint a leader, pull the whole party back together and stuff like that. Can you tell me actually how it works in terms of, putting on a convention, who calls that, how all of that comes together? Can you tell me? Can you explain to us?
Yes, certainly. Cindy, thank you. Any great organization that will last is guided by a constitution. And the founding members of the NDP have gone to great lengths to ensure that the party functions in a way that outlasts any individual. It's an institution.
Yeah.
And that document that governs that is the Constitution. So I give you that background to say, yes, a convention will be called as mandated by the Constitution of the NDP. And in that convention, then the national leader is selected through a democratic process. And that's what will happen. Now, it is okay for me to say that during the last 7 years, Honorable Penn has been the one leading the charge after the 2019 election, and we know what happened there. And he has been the one leading the charge. We honor his leadership and what he's been able to do in terms of keeping the party going. And in 2023, of course, there was not a convention, and he was both chairman and president, and so the organization had suffered a fracture. What we have done in the last few months is bring the party back together, as of course, PVI and so on and so forth. And now we are on track to making the convention happen and to ready ourselves for the next election. Out of that will emerge our at-large candidates, the chairman of the party, and candidates for our district. So I feel confident and comfortable that we are together and we are moving forward to give the people of the Virgin Islands a viable alternative to the present government.
Thank you for that. Does the NDP have an executive right now? A full executive?
We have an interim executive. It's not fully measured out because of the VPs. So, for instance, I don't have an official vice president,
right?
Or I don't have an official deputy treasurer. So all of those people make up the NDP, but we do have the main positions filled, yes.
Okay, so all of those positions come out of the convention.
So yes, so when you go into a convention, interim now will be confirmed, or someone else will be selected as the president after the convention. And that's what you would see.
Okay, so is there a timeline in like, do you know, like, is there a timeline that you can give us? Because I believe that last year it came out that you guys were going to have a convention by the end of last year.
Yes, it was my desire to see that happen because I think it was necessary. But I'll tell you the truth, a lot of things are more difficult than I thought. This being my first rodeo at the position. So it has been a bit challenging to get people together, and especially after the party was fractured, to put the things back together. But so we've had some dates that have been delayed. But as we say in the church world, the delay is not denial. The supporters of the NDP will not be denied a convention and an opportunity to be a part of the democratic process for choosing their candidates and leader. Yeah.
So yesterday, Bishop, I said that and this is just what I believe from the outside looking in. I believe that the National Democratic Party needs a lot of who are in the front to move to the back. Like they need a new face, a new movement, kind of new life. Not a renaming of the party, but, you know, a new direction. What are your thoughts on that?
One of the things I believe in is continuity.
Mm-hmm.
The faces are really in the back. If you find the members and people like that are no, they're there, but they're there in terms of support. They're there in terms of an advisory capacity. Ensure that we are guided properly. But they are not actively involved in what happens. And that's important, I believe, because they recognize that there is transition in process. So, and we are working diligently to train up the next generation of politicians and political would-be to carry on. And that's why the Constitution is so important, because then they won't be coming in to just somebody's wishes. They'll be coming into a structure that is guided by a legal document, and that's what we're hoping for. So you will see more of that as we go along, but continuity is important in terms of understanding parliamentary procedures, constitutional issues, how government works and function. I mean, I need guidance as the interim president because I've never done it before. But what I do, I get things done. And if I know what I need to be done, I'll pull the people who I need around me to get it done. I go out and find the resources to get it done. And we get it done. Okay.
I see one commenter said here that reality check, the NDP is dead. Pitchfork for who dislike it. Well, I guess people have their opinions, right?
Oh, yeah. People have their opinions, but you just have to prove people wrong. You know? I think they didn't think Jesus was coming back from the grave either, but he did. Great power.
Well, all right. So my conversation has really been that over the past couple of days, yesterday and today, I've said that I believe that the NDP still have their core supporters, and your flock is very much scattered right now, and the right leadership needs to form to, you know, get them rounded up. I'll use the word rounded up.
Yes. I'm working diligently. Thank you for this opportunity to all the NDP supporters out there and members of the NDP. We are having a general meeting on March 1st at Save the Seed at 6:30. It will be our first general meeting for the year, and we are asking you to come out because we know that the present government is gearing up for an election. With everything that we see going on, roads being patched and this and that, and trying to spend $100 million within 11 months. They have to find something to do it because really and truly they don't have a plan. And but I really believe that the NDP will be a viable alternative in the next election to govern this country and fix some of the issues that we have, and fix them in a sustainable way, not in a way that just plastering stuff to make people, impress people. We're not about that. Right. We're about efficiency. We're about efficient government, effective government. We're about improving the lives of our citizens, residents, and our visitors that come in, raising the standard of living and the quality of life for all Virgin Islanders, and residents that are here. That's what we're about. Okay. And that's what we will do.
All right. So when you say March 1, and that's for the members of the NDP.
That's just a general meeting. That's not the convention. The convention.
So you're saying anybody from the public can attend this meeting?
I'm saying that members and supporters of the NDP should attend.
Okay.
The meeting.
But it's not a convention. It's just a general meeting. Understood.
No, it's not. It's not the convention.
Yeah. All right. Okay, thank you for taking a moment. Enjoy the rest of your birthday celebration, and we will speak when you're back.
I appreciate you.
All right, thanks. All right, so that was Bishop John Klein. He's the interim president for the National Democratic Party right now. He made some things clear to us. He said they're working. We're going to see. He said there's a general meeting on March 1 where the members of the National Democratic Party and their supporters can meet. It's going to be at Save the Seed. He did not give a time, but I guess something will come out. But that's on March 1. And with that, we're going to take a short break and we're going to come right back. All right, stick and stay.
Good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leaders' seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. A chance on none, in pound and two. Electrifying facts from me and you. Economy, health, education. Youth and future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability. She hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight. So you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul. Information is power, take control. Grab your bush tea, clear your head. Start your day, properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Cindy. Daily talk show. Daily talk show. We're covering the issues. It drops an up higher. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. From sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong minds, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. From sunrise talk to national plan. Facts so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leaders. See, connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. A chance on none, in pound and two. Electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education. Youth, them future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability.
Let me just unmute the mic. Alrighty, we're back. All right, so just before we went on the break, we had Bishop John Klein, who is the interim president for the National Democratic Party. He came on and he gave us some information. And I see that, like I'm getting some questions in here for him, but I'm pretty sure maybe before March 1 or after March 1, after they've had their general meeting, we can get a couple of them in for an interview and see where that goes. All righty. And then we can see what news comes out of the general meeting, March 1. Let's see what day of the week that is actually. Oh, that's a Sunday. March 1 is a Sunday. Okay. All right. I don't know if the media is invited, but, try to sneak in and see what's going on. All righty, some comments. And these comments, I guess, will go across, all that we've spoken about so far. The Clintons want to testify in public, but the Republicans want them to testify behind closed doors. Yes, I saw that. And, well, at this point, nobody knows what anybody's going to say. So they have to still try their best to control everything, but everything is going to come out. Everything is going to come out. Thank God for social media. Someone else said the revelations in those Epstein files are very disturbing, to say the least. A bunch of mentally challenged, wealthy individuals. You couldn't have said it any better. That's exactly how I feel. Hall, what are you talking about? Cindy, you're getting those headaches because you're punishing yourself. You is not sick. You just need fixing. What fixing? What kind of fixing? Epstein has a Mossad asset, is that how you say it? That did massive blackmail operations on behalf of the state of Israel. Look, what this guy, I can't see that he came up with this, just sat down one day and thought, I'm going to become the most wealthiest person. I'm going to target all of these people. But even if he did, for what purpose, right? I don't know. Just to have the power to say that he could wield this power and, control these people. I don't know, but he controlled every single one of our world leaders, it seems like his hand was in everything, this Epstein guy. All right, another comment. Honorable Penn said he will abide by whatever the executive committee says after the voting for a leader. So let's give him that chance to run a process, which is quite fine by me. I don't have a problem with it. And of course, I spoke about already, I mentioned the comment where the guy said the NDP is dead and y'all can bring your pitchforks for him. He said what he said. And I love people who stand by what they say. He said what he said, right? So it's up to them now to prove that they are not dead. But whoever is running for elections, is running for elections, I definitely suggest that you start getting yourselves together. You can watch and see exactly how the government of the day is moving, and they are in full election mode. I don't know when election is going to be. I've said that. I've sat here and I've told you guys when the House of Assembly must be dissolved by, when a new government must be in place. Coming back from those dates, the premier can call an election anytime he chooses. He can dissolve the House anytime he chooses. There is no set time frame per se for him to do that once he meets the 4th anniversary of the first House of Assembly sitting. Okay, so anytime within this time period, the premier can call it the election. The premier can dissolve the House tomorrow if he wanted, but he would have to give a 21-day length period for campaigning and a new government. But he can dissolve the House at any given point. And the mode that they're in, wherever you go, there's the patching. It's all the same all the time. I'm sorry, guys. Forgive me. I don't know. I have a serious headache. And I don't take pills, so I'm going to have to bear it out. And I have a lunch date with a friend that just does not know how not to have a glass of wine. But anyways, I think I might have to have water today. But yes, so they are in full campaigning mode. I'm telling you guys, they've had 2 meetings so far. Well, 3. They've had a meeting in Anegada. I don't think all of them made it to Anegada, but quite a number of them went to that meeting. They were on Virgin Gorda. The entire government was there. I think the only person that was missing was the premier because he was traveling. I'm trying to think if Fraser was there on Virgin Gorda. Y'all know he's the old grandfather of the house now, and he's gonna do whatever he wants. Oh my God, that guy drives me crazy. And then they had a meeting in Long Look, well, in the 7th district last week at the community center. And of course, they were so happy to have it in the community center because after years and years and years, you can finally use it. So I guess that's one of their things. We've did this, we've done that. But all of them were there. Fraser was not there, but they were all there. The Minister for Education, of course, Honorable Kai was there, Meta was there, Honorable Penn was there as well. And I tell you, I feel like he's playing both sides, but God is good and we'll see whatever works out. Who else was there? They were all there. Dawson was there. They were all there, basically. So they're moving in droves wherever they go. Yesterday, on Monday, when they had the launch of the lift for the sewage thing there in by the police station, they were all there. They all had their chance to say something, even if it's good morning. And you know something that I'm watching that they all do? They're like praising each other, but especially well, maybe because they were in the 7th district, right? They were like, and the premier, he's this, and you gotta, vote for him, and he's doing this, and you're watching them like, I mean, we live here. Like, we can actually see what's going on. You don't have to tell us what you think is going on, or in your warped mind, or in your little bubbles that y'all are in this little bubble. I don't know if they live here, but they're in these bubbles that I don't know. when they say who's doing a great job and who isn't doing a great job. There is not a business person, whether a small business person, a big business, that you can sit with that is not going to open the conversation with you about how dead this economy is. The economy is not moving. Nothing is happening. Nothing. There's no new movement. There's no confidence in the economy. Like nothing. Any monies to be passed out or contracts or anything, it's coming from government. That means that the economy is dead. There's no new money moving through the territory. You know, we talk about the cruise ship passengers and we're at 1.2 million. But if we really ask the question, right, how many passengers actually came onto our shores? That's a whole different cup of, or what we call it, kettle of fish. It's a whole different, so you had, 800,000, I think 800,000 tourism cruise passengers, they said, came through last year, right? And they're going off of the numbers of of people on the ships, not necessarily who came off the ship. We don't have any real numbers for anything at all in the BVI, right? So those numbers are the capacity for the boats, the number of passengers on the boats, but who is actually counting? Are they counting, and do they know? Do they know? And this is a question that the media asks the premier every single time we go to a press conference. Do we actually know that we had 800,000 passengers come through the BVI last year? Or was it 400,000? Was it 500,000? We don't know. We don't know. We simply don't know. All we know is that they play with and manipulate numbers. We don't know. We don't know that we had 800,000 cruise passengers come through here. I find it hard to believe when you still have taxi men and businesses complaining that, and these are businesses that are in direct line of, cruise passengers. They're complaining that they're not making money and, people aren't coming through. So how many people are actually coming off of the boat? But, we segueing. So I'm just saying that they are actually in election mode. They are campaigning viciously. So I'm encouraging anybody that's going to step up for elections, whether it's with a party, whether it's independently. I always support the independent candidates once it's the right candidates. There are things that I look for, and I'm going to be even more severe this time around. But yeah, start getting yourself together. Think about how you're going to get out there, what your platform and campaigning is going to be like, and be honest with the people. Be honest with the people. But get yourselves ready, because they are definitely in campaign mode, and I have no idea. One VIP insider told me that election is going to be in November. I don't know. He could just be talking. They could be talking. But you just don't know. You just don't know. So the best thing to do is be ready. All right. And again, I don't think there is going to be a day that I'm not going to appeal to voters. I know that we feel like it doesn't matter whether we go to the polls or not go to the polls. It's always the same. But we got to keep that hope alive, because if you don't go to the polls, we are definitely stuck with what we're going through. If you go to the polls, there is a chance that we may climb out of where we are. And this conversation is becoming more, or coming to the forefront more often, where, can I tell you guys? I thought this was kind of like a biscotti, but it's not. It's like a ginger snap. And I really like it, because I don't really like ginger snaps. I really like this one. And it's really fresh and nice. So anyway, yeah, that right way. So anyway, if you don't go to vote, we stand the chance of being stuck where we are. And this conversation about, I know people are frustrated. I'm frustrated too. I'm frustrated too. You know, you have people that present themselves to you and then they do a whole completely different thing, and you're not sure who to trust or how to trust or what to look for. We'll try our best to keep identifying things that we should be looking for in candidates, but giving up is not the answer. Not going to the polls is not the answer. And a lot of people say that to me, they have voter fatigue, and that's sometimes that's part of the plan. Because again, look at Barbados with Mia Motley. They're probably going through voter fatigue. And what has happened? She is still there. Are they gonna get any changes? We don't know, right? But we should all always stand up for a fighting chance. Don't say nothing will change. If you don't do anything, of course, nothing will change. So we have to see ourselves as part of the problem, because these guys aren't electing themselves. We're the ones that's going out there and electing them. All right? And that conversation just reminded me that we need to get a hold of what has been approved in the Constitutional Review Report. We need to get a hold of that. We need to understand what these guys are taking to the UK. We need to see what these guys are taking to the UK. I'm being passed around. I'm being told to drink water. Alrighty. Let's look at some of the headlines. It's about 10:21. Let's look at some of the headlines. One of the headlines I wanted to touch on yesterday, which I didn't get to, would be with our girl Lorna in the corner, where I see this. And you know what? I think people would realize that I don't talk about her. I don't run any articles in my paper about anything she's doing. If I have to do that, and yes, let me tell you guys something. Media is supposed to stay independent, and I do at most times stay independent. If I'm going to write something, it doesn't matter who it's about, I'm going to write it. But at the end of the day, these newspapers, they belong to people. And for an activist like myself, an advocate in for things that I, believe in, I'm not going to prop you up on my site. We still have the Bank of Asia debacle outstanding that we're still waiting for the governor to come back and say what the Auditor General has done. Has he received a report? What's the next step? We are still waiting on him for that. We're still waiting on the Premier, who said since the middle of last year that he's done an internal audit. The last time we asked, which was maybe August or September last year, he said he had the report and he was going to bring out the information. It is February. Not only have we not had a press conference with the Premier for the year yet, he usually has one once a month, but I mean, he's traveling and modeling and all these things, so that has probably taken a back seat. But I assume we'll have one soon, and we're able to ask progress on this internal audit that was done with the situation on Bank of Asia, and where did our $10 million go? Yes, it's $10 million. Where did that go? Okay, so for me, as an advocate, an activist, and a Virgin Islander, and a voter, and someone that, yes, happened to now own one of the popular news sites in the BVI, I need answers. And until I get answers, anything to do with her will not be in my paper. I hate to say, if it's bad news, I'll put it in. But I'm not going to prop up anything she's doing. I'll rewrite the article, I'll restructure it so that the BVI benefits, but her face and her comments would not be anywhere. I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to encourage it. And that's what I try to tell people, like, stand for something. The information is going to come out via my paper, but her face would not be aligned with anything of any good potentials for the BVI. Period. That's how I look at it. Anyway, in the news yesterday, she was saying something about branching out further into Asia, into the Asia markets. But again, I jotted that down to talk about that headline to basically remind us that we're still waiting for information as it relates to Bank of Asia, and she has not answered to any of that. The Premier has not answered, and therefore, I will not be, speaking on any of this stuff to do with her. The R13 must go. They said R13 must go, but she's definitely got to go. She has definitely got to go. The best the Premier could have done in December, I think it was at the close of the House of Assembly for Christmas, he was so silly in saying things like, oh, they tried to bring down Honorable Lorna Smith, but she's still standing. Like, that's the best you could do in the face of what could be possible corruption. And that's why people like Epstein, got away with what he got away with for so long. Because when they can all hide money and do all of this together, then they try to make it look like you're doing something wrong when they've done something wrong to the territory. If you haven't done anything wrong and she needs to be praised and lauded, just bring out the information for us, let us dissect it, and we'll tell you whether she should be lauded or not. All right? And there isn't a day that people don't ask me about the Bank of Asia, but I want to tell people the same speed you message me, although Guavaberry Media brought out the information, you can message me, you can message the Premier. Premier, we're still waiting on information on Bank of Asia. That is pressure applied to him so that he understands that the territory has not forgotten. I know we like to answer at the polls, but let him know you have not forgotten. We're still waiting on the information for Bank of Asia. We need clarity. Message him. All I could do is write the news. All I could do is talk about it. And quite often they would like to make it look like, oh, she's talking because it's her problem, like other people don't care. So when you're messaging me, and if you need the Premier's, any other numbers you need, you to just message me, I'll send them out. I have no problem sending out their numbers. Message them and say, we're still waiting on information for Bank of Asia. We're still waiting for information on any other festivals that he's had around here that he has yet to tell us the cost and the value. All of that, message him, ask him. All the media can do is ask the questions in the press conference. You guys yourselves, you can send messages to the Premier and say, Premier, we're waiting on this information. When will the public know about this? Don't be afraid. Just do it. He can't kill you for asking a question. But I don't know. We continue to push Cindy to the front so that, you guys can preserve yourself and your businesses and your hope to mingle with these people. Oh, dear. All right, let's look at some of the news stories for this week, for today, over yesterday and tomorrow. Lord. All right, so we're on BVA News. And this headline is opposition leader wants to topple government and take over Premier. I don't well, I might be wrong, but I don't think the opposition leader wants to topple government. I don't think it's easy to topple government. You can't topple government unless, you know, and I think I talked about this before. You People can cross the floor and it can become a minority government. That still doesn't mean that they're not the government. They will get frustrated because they won't be able to get anything done because they won't have the numbers to do so. And eventually it will drive the premier to have to dissolve the house because his government isn't getting anything done, and we would head back to the polls. The opposition does not have the numbers at all to try to topple government. And I want to talk about the importance of having an opposition. And there's one person, like, we have this conversation all the time, and he thinks that there should not be any opposition. When there's no opposition, things run smoothly and things happen in the country. And he gives me this reference of a country all the time. I think it's Denmark, something like that. Anyway, when there's no opposition, those sitting in government can do whatever they want because there's nobody to question what they're doing at all. That is very dangerous for democracy. And I believe that if it was a different opposition leader, we wouldn't have all of this type of pushback in the public space or on any other media sites, because Andrew used to tear a hole through the NDP all on his lonesome. Straight up. And we thought he was awesome. He was doing a great job. He was keeping their feet to the fire. Just him won. And he used to drag them, put a hole through everything that they were doing. Okay? So I don't understand the problem when, Honorable Baldwin is doing exactly what he needs to do. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. Paying attention to because that's his job. He's the leader of the opposition. And the leader of the opposition's job is to keep an eye on government, point out things that they're doing that's probably going to end up bad for the people. That's what he's doing. And that's what he is supposed to do. That's why he's getting that additional bit of salary as the opposition leader, to do that work. It has nothing to do with trying to topple government. I don't even know if Shawanda realized how easy it is to topple him. He's so slack and loose. But we're on the road to election. We're on the road to election. All right. All right, let's try to go down some more of the news really quickly. I want to talk about, you have a speaker for the Parliament in the UK. He was here over the past couple of days, and so they had a special sitting of the House of Assembly, and both the Premier and the opposition leader were allowed to speak, and then the UK House Speaker, Lindsay Hoyle, he was able to speak. But the premiers, and I hate to do this because then people are going to be like, oh my gosh, he just does not like the premier. But I'm not saying this because of any of that. I'm just saying, like, his speech was quite normal in what he presents to us every single day, in terms of, where we are as a country, what his plans are for this year, tourism numbers, etc., etc. Like, he did all of that. But I think it was the perfect time for what Honorable Myron Baldwin's speech was, to talk about us as a people, where we were, where we are now, the situations that we're having with the UK, them having suspended or put the order in council for us and wanting to temporarily suspend our constitution, and just talking about that and where we want to be as a people constitutionally, with them, without them, and so forth. And I feel that his speech, the one that the opposition leader, Honorable Myron Walwin, did, I feel like that was the perfect type of speech that needed to be had in the House, or needed to be had in the House that day, with the House Speaker from the UK being in attendance. Okay. Let me see if I could pull out just a bit of it so you guys can understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay, let me see how long this article is, because I don't mind reading it. I think it's gonna give me more headache trying to pull out pieces. So the opposition leader Myron Walwin has warned that recent signals from the UK about possible constitutional intervention were deeply troubling. So these, what I'm reading is like things that he pointed out in his speech in the House of Assembly in front of the Speaker from the House from the UK. So he said it was deeply troubling to the people of the BVI using a rare opportunity in the House of Assembly to speak directly to a senior UK official. Walwin was addressing a special sitting of the House of Assembly convened to welcome Sir Lindsay Hoyle and the Speaker of the House of Commons of the United Kingdom on his first official visit to the territory, and just to say that he was the only speaker in 75 years that had come to the territory, okay, since we've been having parliamentary sessions for about 75 years. While acknowledging the historic relationship with the UK, Walwin said expectations had changed. After 75 years of democratic governance, there lies a broad expectation of greater autonomy. Okay, he told the House, adding that true partnership is strengthened, not weakened, when local institutions are trusted and respected. Okay, the opposition leader said recent threats by the UK to suspend portions of BVI's constitution had unsettled residents. The recent consideration of suspending portions of the Virgin Islands Constitution was deeply troubling towards citizens. A constitution is not merely a legal document, it is the foundation of our democracy, the embodiment of the people's will, Walwin said, and to suggest that parts of it could be suspended, even temporarily, raises fundamental questions about the limits of local self-governance. Walwin argued that such actions would be among the most drastic steps that could be taken against a democratic society. To suspend the Constitution is to interrupt the democratic compact between citizens and those elected to represent them. He said, adding that reform, partnership, and capacity building, not displacement of representative authority, should be the response to institutional weaknesses. So that was the gist of his speech and his presentation while the senior official from the UK was here. And I thought that that was timely. Whenever they're here and in reach of our ears or whatever we have to say, it's important that they understand, our autonomy, what we're fighting for as a people. All right, and on that note, I'm going to take my last break for the day, and we're going to come back and wrap up with some other pieces of the news for yesterday and today. All right, so we're going to take a short break, and we will be right back.
Good morning, good morning. Rise and shine, nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asked the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, day and night. From the people voice to the leader's seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running with future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability. She hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight. So you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul. Information is power. Take control. Grab your bush tea, clear your head. Start your day properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Daily talk show. Daily talk show. We're covering the issues. It drops an higher. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts with Cindy Rose, and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts with Cindy Rose, and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine, nation. Grab your bush tea, Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leaders' seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rose on how the country running, we break it down. A chance on none, in pound and two. Electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education. Youth and future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability.
Alrighty. All right, I'm back. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm going to wrap up on. Let me just say quickly. Oh, I have not given you guys the menus for today. I only have one so far. I only have one so far. Let me do. I was trying to get the other one, but let me do. Today is Thursday. So, all right, let me do the menu for D's. And D's is upstairs. D's is upstairs, frozen imports. Today's menu, they have stew pork, they have stuffed salmon, beef ribs, spaghetti in Creole sauce, and they have cordon bleu chicken breast, and they have white rice, corn on the cob, scalloped potatoes, steamed carrots, and broccoli. And then I want to remind, and you would have seen it on the screen, that they have lobster night on Saturday night, or let me call it lobster evening, and that is Saturday night, and it goes from 5 to 8 p.m. So they're trying a new Saturday night do a seafood menu, and they're starting with the lobster night. So make it out there between 5 to 8. Come and stay. We can have political conversation. We can have all kind of conversations. So meet me out there. I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna try to reach there about 5:30. Normally I shouldn't say where I'm gonna be, right? But whoever's gonna do what is gonna do what. So from 5 to 8, I'll be in the area. Alrighty. So I'm gonna close up with these three headlines. Actually, let me check quickly for any comments. I like to make sure that I put in any comments that people are having. So let's do that quickly. What is this one? Okay, I can't have that conversation. Um, who believes that there's oil um, over Anegada? I don't know if I believe it. I would have to see the paperwork to believe it, that there's oil over there. I'm not sure what he's talking about when he says, Cindy, careful with that thing. Leave them people see. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Um, a government without opposition is a recipe for disastrous dictatorship, just as Alfred Hitler, the guy Donald Trump admired, Adolf Hitler. Um, Honorable Walwyn spoke as a leader who is prepared. He showed the charisma that will attract young persons who have an interest in seeing their political future and where we can go as a territory. We must remember that Honorable Walwyn has a legal background and he will be conscious of all of that. So we must be ready to deal with the UK for what's ahead in our interests. Okay, that's a great comment. So let's see what's in the rest of the headlines today. Honorable Penn says there's no power struggle amongst the NDP. Okay, whatever. I wanted to touch in on this though. So I think the AC has been fixed at the Iris O'Neill Clinic there on Virgin Gorda, and they're getting ready to transition back into the space, so they won't be under the tents anymore. Thank God for them. But there's so much more work to be done with that building. I don't even understand why it is even going through that. All right. But anyway, so we're going to hit on these two now, and then I'll call it a day. So the USVI, and I mean, it doesn't even make sense to talk about this again, but I guess it'll keep coming up because I guess it's a live issue. The USVI governor, he has gone to Washington. And, part of what he wants to talk to Washington about is, the charter yacht fee increase here. And I'm going to say again, I guess he has to do what he has to do as a governor. He's going out. Personally, I don't think there will be any changes unless it's impactful for over here, that there'll be any changes. That there'll be any changes in terms of our fees and the rise that we did. I want to tell you guys, right? You saw me chuckle live, right? So I'm scrolling down to the comment section of this article, and here's somebody, and people can use whatever names they want to, right? But I want people to understand that when you see my name, like there's Cindy in comments on any of these articles, it is not me. I can't even keep a straight face from laughing because I find it so hilarious. I don't comment on these things. I don't need to hide behind anything. Whatever I'm going to say, I'm going to say it. But anyway, somebody always uses my name, and I guess it's not my name. I guess it could be anybody, but I think they're doing it to say it's me. So that made me chuckle just now. I don't know why, I arrest me down now. All I doing is out here fighting for fire. That's so weird. But anyway, he's off to Washington again. And one of the conversations on the table is, of course, the fees, the GI charter yacht fee. I don't have to tell y'all again how I feel about that. They can go all the way to hell. All right, I want to open up this article here. Do I have enough time? I think so. And this article, I think, came out of, not I think, honestly speaking, with Claude Skelton. He's on the UK. He's saying, y'all gotta do better than this by us, right? And he's referring to the UK. So the article is basically saying that The host of Honestly Speaking, Pastor Klein, called on the United Kingdom and Governor Daniel Cruz to do better for the Virgin Islands. It's interesting how they curse the UK. They tell them to mind their business, stay out of our business, nothing has anything to do with you. Can you just pack up and leave us alone? And then on the other side of the tongue, it's, can you help us more? Can you do this? Can you do that? So do you want them or do you not want them? Do you want the help, but only the help that you want? And while wanting this help, do you still want to do whatever you want to do with the help that they're giving you? I just don't understand these guys. But anyway, I want to be clear on what this article is about. So I'm going to read it out a bit, right? So during part 3 of Can I Say Some Things and Still Be Loved? So if you've been listening to if you've been listening to Honestly Speaking for the past, I want to be, okay, yes, this third part. I was going to say, I think it's 3 weeks now. He's been saying, it's been, can I say some things and still be loved? So he's taken that subject line to say some things that would irritate, I guess, any and everybody. And he still wants to be loved. And he's probably saying to them, don't victimize me because I'm going to talk about you, but I got to say some things. All right. So during the third part, which would have been Tuesday, his radio program on ZBBI, he claimed that Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, right, the FCDO, has not given the green light for a very important step for the expansion of the Terrence B. Lettsome International Airport runway. The government asked and requested for the fiscal space, the monetary space to do the development of the airport. And so that fiscal space that he's talking about is the threshold of where we can borrow money. And to do the airport, we go way beyond that. And so they have to get the approval of the UK to borrow that type of money. I think it's either $300 or $400 million to get that done. And even if they're not borrowing the money, if there's an investor coming in, we got to make sure that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and that, we can handle any fallout from anything. So the FCDO has not given the approval as yet. And so I guess, Klein is, up in arms, and he's like, move faster so we can get it done. But as much as we need to expand the airport in some way, shape, or form, upgrade it, one thing we've always put the cart before the horse in terms of lining up our ducks properly, and it's always come back to bite us in the ass. And that's why we have the most expensive bridge in the world up there at Beef Island. Okay, a bridge what was supposed to cost $1-2 million cost $100 million. I'm just exaggerating, but you understand what I'm saying. And then, he's calling for, the death of bureaucracy, because he's basically saying, no, it's bureaucracy. They need to move it ahead. They need to move faster and get it done. All right. So Sheldon Klein said the government and Governor Cruz need to advocate on behalf of the need for the fiscal space to be approved. The Virgin Islands, he pointed out, has never forfeited on a loan or had to ask the UK for anything. Well, we've not had any major loans that I could think about. I want to think like the $100 million loan is one of the biggest loans that we've had. Correct me if I'm wrong. The others have been very small loans, and we've actually taken them out of Social Security. I don't know if we've even paid them back. So we've not ventured into having any real major loans yet as a territory or as a country. So we definitely have to take our time and make sure we do it right, because again, $300-400 million, that's our entire budget for the year, right? It's a lot of money. So, and he's like, my brothers and sisters, that this is what I call debt of bureaucracy, piled upon all kinds of asks and all kinds of requests, all kinds of paperwork, all kinds of questions, just bury you in the bureaucracy until you become so frustrated, so disgusted, so powerless that you just give up trying to build your country. Well, Well, that may be the case. I mean, all I can close and say is that isn't that a dose of their own medicine? Isn't that what our government does every single day to businesses, to people that are trying to get ahead, that's trying to get information? They bury what you're asking for. They tell you you need this, you need that. Oh, you didn't bring in this when they didn't even tell you you needed that. They bury everything for us in bureaucracy. We can never move ahead. So there you go, a bit of your own poison that you deal out to your people every single day. All right. So he's like, why treat the VI this way? Y'all gotta do better than that by us. There's no reason why we haven't received a favorable answer for better airlift in this country. All righty. So on that note, we're gonna call it a day. And today is Thursday. And so tomorrow is Friday, so I won't be here tomorrow. So we will resume on Monday. God spare all lives. I'm going to take this moment to wish you guys a good day, to wish you a good weekend, to be safe, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Alrighty? Take care.
Good morning. Rise and shine, nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news, she asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leader's seat, she connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen, how the country running, we break it down. A chance on none, in pound and two. Electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education. Youth and future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability. She hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight. So you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul. Information is power. Take control. Grab your bush tea. Clear your head. Start your day. Properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Cindy. Daily talk show. Daily talk show. Covering the issues. It drops an empire. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. From sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. From sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine, nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy